so loud.
Hello.
It sounds good on my end, but maybe it's somewhere else.
I fixed it now.
Okay. Am I muted?
No, we were muted. I didn't because in the middle of the whole fiasco with getting the intro right, I didn't turn the audio on, and I think that intro is real loud. I'm gonna turn it down a bit. There we are. We're here.
There. Yay!
It's
Hello. Hi.
It's not broken. I messed up. I can't seem to get this one right for some reason. But we're here.
Happy Monday, everyone. Hello, Art. How are you?
Good. Yeah, all right.
Yeah. I'll take it. That's fine. Reed Cooper, hello. Corey, hello. Hi, friends. My name is Robert Fisher, and I'll be guiding you through our painting today, which is Among Us. Ta-da! Yeah. This is a fun one because you can customize it and do whatever you want as far as color goes. And then you can also put like little accessories and hats and stuff on top to match the character that you play in game. Have you played much Among Us, Art?
I've only played the one time, the one we played on stream here, and that was it. It was terrible because I was the murderer person, the imposter, on my first game. So I was real good at the killing part. I just didn't know how anything else was the worst. So I couldn't like pretend to do things. I didn't know. I had never done a task, so I had to run around and just try not to get caught because that's all I needed to do. Murdering was easy. You just
nice.
But yeah.
I've played it probably like 20 something times. Have yet to be the murderer, and I'm always murdered within the first like 5 seconds. It seems like I'm so bad. I'm so bad at it, and it's like every time I try to float around. First of all, I can't figure out where I'm at. I don't know. The map makes no sense. The map is
confusing.
To me, yeah, but I still run around, and it's and I pretend like I'm doing stuff. And then when I'm actually trying to do something, it never works. Like I keep trying to swipe the card, swipe the card.
Doesn't work.
Doesn't work. But I love it. It's so fun. It's terrifying. I get so anxious and like, someone's gonna kill me. I better hurry. Oh well. Reed Harris. This is perfect for the fact that I don't have a new nib, so I'm going to use my finger. Oh yeah, this is a great finger drawing. Not bad at all. But the one you did earlier with your drawings, the Luke and BB drawing that you did was really good. I was surprised. I don't have that good control with like finger painting. So well done. I'm not sus tonight. I'm super non-sus tonight. I don't know what you're talking about. I said earlier on, art is so sus. So sus. All right, so let's get started. Before we do though, let's go through materials and make sure we have what we need. First off, you'll want a canvas or a surface to paint on or draw on. I'm using a 16 by 20 inch canvas as I usually do, but you can use any size or shape that you have available, and you can do this drawing digitally if you've got an iPad or Surface Pro, or you can put this on your computer, Microsoft Paint, whatever you want. Totally up to you. So I've got this here. Next up, you'll want a cup of water. I've got mine here. You'll use this to wash off your brushes in between colors to make sure you're not mixing colors. Uh-oh, Ryan's calling an emergency meeting. What, Ryan? Did you see something? Was it Art in the library with the candlestick? Oh wait, that's the wrong murdering game.
That's the wrong game, yeah. But I mean, you're right. You should always suspect me.
Okay, so we got our cup of water. Next, you will want something to drink. Something to drink. This is my something to drink. I'm just doing water again. But again, I keep it closed just so I don't knock my paintbrush in there accidentally. You'll also want a towel. Here's my reusable towel. This is so I can wash it when I'm done, but if you've got a paper towel or a napkin, that'll be fine too. And the reason I have a towel is to make sure I don't have too much water on my brushes in between colors before I put that on the canvas, because otherwise, if your brush is too wet, the water will drip down the canvas and rip the paint off, especially with this acrylic that I'm using. So just make sure after you've washed your brushes out thoroughly to dab it dry with your towel and then get the paint as you normally would. Art is just lurking in that corner. Very, very sus. That's the theme for today. It's not Among Us. It's just the fact that art is sus. He disappeared.
I vented.
He totally just vented. So good. Next up, I've got brushes. I use the same brushes pretty much each time. It's my standard set of 3. But as long as you have a large, a medium, or a small brush, it'll work out just fine. Here's my 1-inch flat brush. This is my large brush. My 1/2-inch flat brush. You can see both of those have a nice thin edge when turned to the side. And then I've got my number 2 round brush for some detail work too. So as long as you've got 3 brushes, large, medium, small, you're good to go. And then today, as far as paint, it's really up to you what colors you'd like. I'm including black and white because you'll want some white, black, and gray tones for the visor that the character's wearing, and then also black for the outline. But other than that, you can see the example here is green and blue for the background. You can do whatever colors you want, and if you're doing any accessories or hats or anything like that too, it's totally up to you. But I'm going to keep it pretty simple and just keep with green because that's my favorite color. And then the blue background is just kind of cool and neutral. And so yeah, that's that. I think that's it for materials.
Sweet.
As we go through today, if anyone has any questions, let me know. Feel free to type them up in the chat there. I've got that heading up in the corner. And then also, you can find us at our Perception Paints Discord at Perception Paints Share. And that's a great place where you can put the live feed of you painting. And as we're following along, you can point to that and say, hey, how's this turning out? Gives me a chance to take a look. And then Art will pop that up on screen every now and then to show us how everyone's doing.
Yeah, I was. I saw Corey's name on there, and I thought I was excited because I thought she was painting. She's just watching.
Oh, that's okay.
That's okay. I was just.
I don't mind. Are you painting today, Art?
Yes, I am painting. I'm charging my Apple Pencil.
Okay.
I just realized it was at 0, so I'm gonna start in a minute.
Okay, cool. So before we get started, let's do a quick toast. And we'll drink and we'll paint the best that we can. And if it don't turn out right, who gives a damn?
Yeah.
Cheers.
I always drink first. I remember not to drink first.
I always forget to drink.
Yeah, I forget to do the cheers. Right.
Corey's watching and painting.
Oh.
That sounds sus.
That does sound, because she doesn't want to show it to us. And so I do not really trust Corey now at this point.
All right, so to start off, we're going to create kind of a grid today, just to keep our drawing in line and so it doesn't end up like The Mandalorian. So I'm going to split it up in little pieces in the quarters. So my 16 by 20 inch canvas is going to be split in half here at the 8-inch mark. And then again down here.
Actually, no, who's really sus? Is Ryan, because where is he?
Ryan.
He's not here. I don't see him. I just see a blank canvas, no person standing in front of it.
Just talking.
No, there's nobody
randomly
there. I don't know where he is.
Oh, there's no one there?
No, it's just a blank canvas.
Oh.
Without a person.
That's not just sus, that's creepy.
Oh, you're making a line. Oh, there he is. Too late. I already. Wait, hold on. There he is. He left.
All right, so there's the halfway there, and then this is 20 inches, so I'm going to split it up to 10. At the 10. If you remember last week, I told you I don't have any like normal rulers. I have a T-square. So this is left over from college. That's why it still says Robert Tafoya on it. Old school T-square. Tafoya. All right, so I've got that split up into my 4 quadrants. You may not be able to see it, but I've essentially split it up into 4 different parts. I'm gonna use that as a guide for my drawing. And we're gonna draw first, just to kind of sketch it out. You can do this with either a pencil or a piece of chalk. But first what we're gonna do is draw the top half of our character. And we're gonna do that by creating just this kind of domed shape. I would say about 1 inch or 2 from the right, upward. And then you're going to cross this center line here about 2 or 3 inches from the top. So again, I'm just sketching it out, but what I'm going to do is after I've sketched it, I will go over it with this dark marker so that you can see it for sure. And then I'm putting down on the left-hand side, and I'm splitting this line here in half. So it's going to come down to the half mark. Actually, you know what? Let me darken this line just to show you. Here's my center line. I'm going to paint over this anyway, so. Yeah, you can see that better. Okay, so my first drawing is the top half of my little character. Kind of arch up here, that center, and then it comes down, and again, it's splitting this section in half. So it comes down right about there. Okay, that feels pretty good. And then again, we're gonna paint over this, so it's no big deal. If the lines are a little wonky or you have any of these double lines as you're figuring it out, we'll paint over all that. Okay, so next what we're gonna do is sketch out the bottom portion of our character. And let's start on this left side first. We're gonna continue this line down. And we're gonna stop just about 2 or 3 inches from the bottom. And then meeting this line here, the center line, we're going to create this little rounded leg part, or rounded foot rather. So we'll round it on the bottom. And then we're going to go up another 2 to 3 inches. Create that little center, I don't know, groin area. And then come back down. You want to leave about 2 to 2.5 inches here in between both legs. Meeting the center line there. And then what I would do is on this right-hand side, take this line down. I'm going to step in front just to make sure I have it even. There we go. And then connect these 2 feet. There we go. I'll leave that for just a second as people are catching up. Take a look at the chat and see what we got. Corey killed Ryan. Oh no! Sorry, Ryan. Didn't finish your painting fast enough. Reed H. Cooper, you took your husband's name. I did. I did take my husband's name. Over the years, 30-something years, I got tired of having to spell Tafoya and then respell it over the phone. And then it was always mispronounced and everything like that. So I figured Fisher would be much easier to change. But also, my last name never really meant anything to me, and it wasn't like a family name or anything like that. Like, we don't really have much of a history or culture when it comes to my family. But Jared's family is a little more like waspy in that sense. So the idea of like carry on the family name was more important to them. It's like, fine, fuck it, I'll take Fisher. What I didn't know was that everyone likes to add the letter C to the word Fisher when it's not supposed to be there, and vice versa. So I'm still spelling my name, no matter how easy it sounds.
And you made it difficult for everybody who always knew you just as Robert Tafoya, because we had to learn a new name. And it was real weird for a long time.
It was weird for me. It still throws me off whenever anyone says it. Jared will use it when he's mad at me, and he goes, Robert Tafoya. But I still answer to Robert Tafoya. I think Candace still calls me Robert Tafoya. I don't mind it. Yeah, waspy. They're from the East Coast, and they're not that that's like exclusive, like East Coast waspy, but that's who they are. So it's fine. Okay, how's everyone so far? Good? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
So now what we're going to do is we're going to draw the visor. The visor is just an egg shape that sits in this kind of upper right quadrant here. And it's actually going to sit along the bottom edge of this line. It crosses over our center line just a little bit. And it only goes up about halfway up our quadrant. So it's going to go right about here. So I'm going to sketch that out. It's an egg shape. It's actually a little bit more of a like a jelly bean, a flat jelly bean than an egg. Not quite as round on the sides. It's a little more flattened out. Okay, that's pretty good. I'll darken this for you guys. There we go. So this part here, where they overlap, I'm just going to paint over that with white again, so don't worry about it. It is all good. All right, so we got our visor. And then next what we're going to do is our backpack, our little jetpack piece. So this is going to sit on this portion here, behind our little character. I'm going to go about halfway on this lower left quadrant. And just kind of build that out. I'm not going all the way up against the canvas. I would say leave at least an inch or so from the left-hand side. And it's going to go about there. It comes up about, if you were to take your visor, like halfway through your visor, it'll line up that way. Okay, and then let me darken that for you again. Cute. It's a little stubby guy. I love it. I didn't realize this, but the creators of this game like did it themselves. Like it's like two guys that made this game all by themselves, and it turned into this monster hit, and everyone loves it. And I love seeing stuff like that. Like Stardew Valley's the same way, where you have these independent studios making their own shit because they love it. Makes me so happy. Reed Cooper says, I'm used to Fisher as a Jewish name. It might be. I don't know. I think for Jared's family, it comes from something else. I don't really know. As much as they talk about culture and history and stuff, I don't think they really know either. Dead Boy says, that's why with my last name, I go HOP, then bash your head into the keyboard, and that will be close enough. Perfect. I used to date someone whose last name was Maciejewski, and it is not spelled that way. And it's always stuck in my head because I had to like work so hard to remember how to say their last name. It's spelled like Maciejewski. I don't know. Long gone. Okay, so now what we're doing is we're going to add little areas where we're... They were sus. They had to go. Corey made the sus boy a little stubby, but that's okay. Yeah, I think mine's a little stubby too. It'll all turn out when we start painting it too, because you can adjust it. And Reed doesn't know their last name. Sorry, Reed. Okay, so now what we're going to do is add a little bit of a shading area. This is going to differentiate where shading and highlight goes that you can see up there. So first off, I'm going to draw a little like half kind of crescent shape on this upper half of the backpack. And I'm just going to keep it light. Again, this is just a guide so that when I get started painting, I know that these are going to be two different colors. The top part is going to be my lighter green, and the bottom part is going to be my darker green, just to show the difference between light and shadow. Cooper is an Ellis Island name. Oh, that's kind of cool. We need people to trace that back.
I know where I got my name.
From where?
The colonizers.
Oh, that's so nice of them. Assholes. Speaking of colonizers, Jared and I just watched like all 5 of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies over the weekend. It was really fun, but it just reminded me how terrible some of the British and the Spaniards were in just taking over countries. Like, great, nice, way to go. You know, I fought for human life. It's no big deal. Dead Boy's mom went from Miles to Hopfensberger. Hopfensberger. Yeah. HOP, slam your head against the keyboard. So I say she's gone from Miles to Miles too long. All right, so now what we're doing, we're gonna add another highlight to the body of our little guy. It's gonna start up here. Actually, let me sketch this out real quick. Okay. We're following the shape that's created here in this little groin area. And we're coming about 1 inch from our visor. Following the shape. And we're coming back up. Just take a look, make sure that looks the way I want it to. Okay. And then I'll darken that so you guys can see. Again, this is just a guide as I paint. So don't worry if the line isn't super dark as you're doing it. This is just a guide as we're going to remind me that these are going to be 2 different colors as I paint. It is going to look a little weird at this point. Oh, I pronounced it right? Which time? I feel like I kept screwing it up. Hopfensberger. Hopfensberger. It's a cool last name. I imagine it would be really frustrating though. Corey, I am so not willing to give up my last name, but I don't want whoever I end up to feel sad I didn't take their name. You know, I struggled with that for a little bit. I thought it might be kind of cool to keep my last name. Oh, I'm looking a little choppy, sorry. There we go. I thought it'd be cool to keep my last name and we each have our own, and we're just married because it's not so important to either of us. I also thought it would be kind of cool to make up our own last name, which you can. I mean, straight or gay, you can make up whatever name you want. So if you get married, come up with something different. You can name yourself like, I don't know, iPad, like whatever you want. But then we just decided, oh, let's be traditional and kind of cute. So we just did Fisher.
Yeah, Amber just hyphenated. She kept her name. I just added my name to it.
And it works. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it doesn't work. I see that, and it just makes it really, really long. But it's perfect for you guys. It's really cute. Okay, so next we're going to do 2 more areas. In the visor here, we're going to create a little rounded area that kind of cuts it in half on the top part. And then 1 more oval. Right up there. It's pretty good. I might make that a little bit smaller when I paint it. Yeah. Okay, cool. Ta-da! We did it. All right, how's everyone feeling? Pretty good?
Good.
Yeah? Okay, so now it's just the fun part. We're kind of coloring in with paint. You can do whatever you want now. I'm going to start with my lighter color, which is the green. I'm going to leave the black and the white for last because I do want these to kind of dry a little bit before I start trying to throw paint on there. But I'm going to start with my green first. And I'm using a light green for my light green areas. And then for the darker green areas, I'm just going to add a little touch of black to it. Very, very small amount just to darken it. Or actually, no, I have a darker green. I'm just going to use a darker green for that. Dead Boy is going to make up their own last name. I better marry someone with a similar sense of humor to me. I mean, that's key. In the discussion, you just kind of decide with your partner, this is what I want to do. To be honest, Jared and I didn't discuss it very much. We were just like, yeah, let's just do that. That sounds good.
I think Amber and I discussed it, and I think all we agreed is like, I don't know. I think I just said like, you're the one writing your name and things, so whatever you want. I'm not gonna be doing anything with it.
It's a very weird conversation because I think some people really take it seriously, and then other people are like, whatever. Just it's a name. You know what's interesting though? Someone brought up a really something I never thought of before. So on the 31st, it was Trans Visibility Day, International Trans Visibility Day, and someone had mentioned the issue with pronouns, like people using the correct pronouns for their names, or even just using their name. Like if someone's decided to change their name along with transitioning to a different gender. And they said people always come back to me and they're always like, oh, it's so hard to remember to use the right pronoun. So I always forget. It's so hard. And it's like, yes, but you think about when someone's getting married, how people get all like googly and silly, like, oh, you're the next Mrs. Fisher. Oh, like it took you no time to figure that out. So yeah. Really, what does it come down to? Are you really having a hard time remembering the pronouns, or are you just kind of an asshole?
Yeah, is it? Did you mess up for a week or two, or is it 6 months in and you're still messing it up? Because 1 or 2 weeks, seriously. I get it. It takes a little bit to get used to them, blah blah. But then after a while, you're like, okay, sure. That is what it is.
Yeah,
it's not that hard.
Yeah, at some point you've got to just do it and know that it has nothing to do with you. That's my little PSA for the day. I thought it was an interesting point. Because it's true, you know how this is a generalization, but you know how people get at like bachelorette parties. They're like, "Oh my god, your new last name." Same thing. You can do the same thing. Be like, "Oh my god, your new gender. I'm going to use your new pronoun." Totally works.
Is that what happens at bachelorette parties?
That's what happens at pronoun parties. Oh my god.
I don't know if I would enjoy bachelorette parties.
We're going to a strip club for your new pronouns. Did you have a bachelor party?
I did. We went to Vegas.
You did? Fun! That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Did you do all of the things that you're supposed to do and all the things you're not supposed to?
I mean, we did a lot of things, but I don't know if I did anything I was supposed to.
It's just between you and me, Art. It's okay.
And everybody else. No, we just hung out. We drank. We went to the super expensive but super fancy meat restaurant that was freaking delicious.
Was it called Meat?
It's called the Meat Bazaar or Bazaar Meats, one of the two. And it's like, I mean, real expensive. And I was like, why is this money? What is this sucks? And then I was like, okay, I get it.
You're like, I got it. That's the kind of place where you get like the Wagyu and all that stuff, Kobe beef.
I don't know if we had any of that, but like basically it's you just pay for a course, and it's like I don't know, like a 8 or 9 meal. course, and they
Oh.
bring different little things. And so one of the things they brought that I think that's the one that like shut us all up was they brought in cotton candy foie gras.
Ooh, what?
And foie gras, it's kind of problematic. I know. I've never had it before.
Yeah.
And but they take a tiny
pretty
chunk.
good.
It was a tiny chunk, as maybe the size of like a nice a sugar cube, maybe a little
Mm-hmm.
smaller. And then they covered it in like a ball of cotton candy, like maybe like a little bit bigger than an egg. And
That's
you get in a
weird.
little stick, and you're like, this is real weird. And then they're just like, just one bite. Don't take just the one whole bite. Just take the whole thing. And I swear we all did it at the same time, and we all just sat quietly for like a good minute and a half, because it was
Just enjoying the moment.
it was amazing. And then just a bunch of meat. I was like, this place is good.
That's cool.
Yeah, and we went to see shows. We went to see Cirque Show. We went to see the Terra Fader, the ventriloquist.
Yeah.
That was real weird. Don't
Why
recommend seeing
was
that
that
show.
weird? Just because it's a weird show?
It's a weird show that is like stuck 15 years ago, and it's never been
Oh,
rewritten.
no.
Like he needs a new writer.
Oh,
And then
yeah.
I looking around, I realized that I was not the audience for it, because it was me, Ryan, Danny, Amber's brother, Kenny. It was like 6 or 7 of us, and and Stephen Wagner,
Stephen Wagner.
Yeah.
Aw.
and then like 300 older white people.
Nice.
So it was real weird. And then he got real weird, because then he like pulled out a Trump puppet, and
Mm.
it was like one of those things. He also didn't want you to know where he stood on things, so it was just really awkwardly vague about things, and it was just like, why did we?
So weird when performers do that.
Yeah, well, don't even go there. You don't have to.
Exactly.
There's no need.
Yeah. This is your show. No
it's
one
your
said
show.
you needed to do this.
Yeah, so just don't. And so
It's
it was
so
it was a weird show. I don't, unless you're like 65 and don't go see it. Which is terrible, because he's a
You can tell
puppeteer and he's
what's-
great.
I know.
He's really talented. He's actually very good. Like a very good voice actor and a ventriloquist. It's just he needs to hire somebody to rewrite the show.
It's with some of those shows, especially in Vegas, you can tell when they've been around for a while and they're still playing the same old stuff,
Yeah.
like not bothering to update any of it. What was another show that I saw out there? For a long time, Rita Rudner was like that. And I really like Rita
Oh, I
Rudner's
love
stuff.
Rudner.
Yeah, but I went and saw her, gosh, it was probably like 10 years ago. And her show felt like it was about 15 or 20 years old. Like you could feel like it wasn't just that the jokes weren't topical anymore. It just, the jokes felt like they were cutting edge jokes about 20 years ago. But
Yeah,
she's still so great. I love her.
That's what the Terry Fader show. It was his. So I got married in 2019. So 2 years, 3. I don't even know what time it is. 2019, 18.
Yeah.
I got married in 2018. Jesus Christ. Anyways, he made an Octomom joke. I was like,
Oh,
what is this?
yeah.
Like 2003? What is happening? What's a really, I don't know if you guys, how often you guys are gonna go to Vegas in the next future. I don't know if his show's still gonna be there, but one show that's been around for a long time and it's really, really good is Mac King, the magician.
Oh,
It's a
yeah.
daytime show. It's a family show, but it is one of the funniest things I've ever seen. He is amazing and super funny and wholesome and great.
I'll have to check that out. I haven't been to Vegas in a long time, actually. It's not my favorite place to go, but I'll go if I know like I'm going to a specific show or something. Back when they used to have a lot of the like Broadway tours there.
Yeah.
Now it seems very DJ and Cirque du Soleil heavy, so there really isn't a lot of reason for me to go. But I like Cirque du Soleil. I've seen them all, so I don't really need to go.
Rich Cooper says, Dan, that was high on my list for Vegas. Mine too. This is why we picked the show. That's why I was like, oh, I'd love to. I met him once when I was filming stuff with Muppets, and he came and by and like hung out with him, and he's super nice. So I was like, I'm gonna go see a show, and I was like, oh,
Whoops.
oh.
Oh, I would go for Penn and Teller too.
Penn and Teller. Yeah, I want to see. Every time I
Yeah.
go, I haven't gotten a chance to go.
I would love to see Penn and Teller. I've always liked them. Even as a kid, I thought they were cool.
Yeah. They've always been.
I realized Art and I were just chatting. Let's see what's going on. Dead Boy says, first date coffee, second date movie, third date perception check binge. I think that's good. That's a good barometer.
Mm-hmm.
Necrofilm says it's like going on a journey, that journey being the painting and the painter narrating along way. Yeah, I like it. I'll take it.
Necrofilm says the Rio Buffet. I keep saying the Rio Buffet is real good. I've never been to it. Although I like the buffet at the Aria. I think it's called the Wicked Spoon. I love.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I used to go as a kid with my grandparents on the way to Idaho. They liked going to Idaho or whatever. And they would always stop at MGM, probably because it's the most cost efficient at the time. But also they loved the buffet there called like Animal Crackers or something like that. And there was nothing special about it. It was just the buffet they always went to. Necrofilm says it took me a little bit to get used to my son's pronouns, but I did. That's good. Thank you. I'm sure it means a lot. I haven't had to deal with that, and I'm sure it's a struggle for many people, but I mean, it's one more thing to show other people that you care about them. Like as soon as you realize it's not the struggle for you to remember correct pronoun usage isn't for you to struggle through, it's to provide support for someone else, then it's like click. Oh, okay. I got it.
Yeah.
But now I just want to go to a buffet.
No, me too. I was just saying that it's like I miss going. I'm not a buffet person. Like I'm usually like if you wanted to buy me dinner, I would be don't tell me buffet because I will fill up super fast. I pick all the wrong foods and I'm done after a plate. But right now I'm like I miss a buffet.
I love brunch buffets. Like Sunday morning, getting day drunk and having waffles and pancakes and all that kind of stuff. That's my favorite kind of buffet. I don't need like the all you can eat half cooked lobster tails and all that stuff. I just want I want breakfast foods. I want 6 plates of waffles and I'm good to go.
That sounds delicious.
By the way, gang, I'm now doing my darker color. So I'm using my darker green and essentially we're kind of coloring in the lines today. We did all the hard part earlier. We're just kind of having fun and painting and with my darker tone. Wicked Spoon sounds cool though.
Yeah, I love Wicked Spoon. Oh, I did that wrong. Rich Cooper says, I think Wicked Spoon is the only one open right now, but it's not a buffet. They just hand you stuff from 9 sections. Necrophim says, avoid Circus buffet.
Oh, yeah. I think you could have ended at avoid Circus, right? You don't need to fill in the blank afterward. It was like the cool spot to be as a kid when the theme park first opened, and then it just went scary pretty quickly.
And then,
at some point, my parents never let me go. They were like, no, you can't go to that theme park. Like, well, why not? That's what it's for. No, it's not safe. We're in Nevada. What is safe?
You brought me to Vegas.
Yeah, what do you want? Speaking of Cirque shows, I've seen a few of them. I haven't seen a lot of them, but I've seen a few where, like, now it's at the point it has to have a specific theme in order for me to be interested in seeing it. So I kind of like Beatles music, but not enough to.
It is so good.
To go see the show. Is it?
I've seen it a couple times. I love Love. I love Love. It's also if you're like an audio person, they remix the music so well, and they have speakers. It's one of those places where you've been to like a place where they're blasting music at the loudest level, and it's uncomfortable. They managed to pump loud music without making you feel uncomfortable. It's mixed so well and spread out very nicely, and there's a little bit of speakers in your seat, so they create surround stuff with it. I love the show.
Okay, that's pretty cool. I thought it was just going to be, hey, we're going to do somersaults to the Beatles music.
It is, but some of it, but it's very entertaining. I didn't think I was gonna like it, and then I ended up really loving it so much that I've seen it a few times.
I actually I like I'm not a fan of the Beatles, if that makes sense. Like, I like their music, I follow it, I'll listen to it every now and then, but I never really listened to it very much. It was like my dad's music.
Mm-hmm.
And but then I did a concert. I used to sing with a men's chorus, and we once did a concert that was all Beatles music, and I was like, oh, okay, here we go. And then I ended up really liking it a lot, like the musicality of it. I was like, wow, okay, these guys are really smart. I get it now.
Yeah.
So I might have to check that out.
You should. I've seen O and Cobb at the
I would like to see.
Oh my god, O was mind blowing. Both O and Ka are technically like just your mind just you don't understand like how do they manage to do this? How what technological genius was able to like design these things and then build them? They're both
I've wanted to see that one for a while.
It's beautiful.
I really liked Zoomanity. That was a lot of fun.
I haven't seen that.
That one's fun. I don't think they're bringing it back, unfortunately.
Oh, really? This is one of the smaller shows.
It was a really small, intimate, like, it's that cabaret style show, similar to what a lot of the shows are now, like the Absinthe and...
Absinthe's fun. I saw that.
Yeah. It very much had that kind of feel, but still very Cirque du Soleil, and it was hot. It was so good. There was so much nudity everywhere. It was awesome. They also had these chairs like right up front. So they had like the regular, not stadium seating, but like seating around the amphitheater. And then in front they had these big plush, like cushy fainting couch style chairs that were like part of the VIP thing. And so I did that one time. It was so good. You get these people coming up and feeding you strawberries and champagne, and they're like messing with you in the big comfy chairs. It was very sexy and very fun.
That's cool.
It's a shame they didn't keep doing that, because it was a good show. I guess Reed H. Cooper's going to Circus Circus, so be safe. You see something, say something. Oh, Necrofilm brought up the MGM theme park. That was a cool theme park. I actually spent a lot of time. I spent some time there as a kid, because as I said, my grandparents loved MGM. So they would go gambling, and then they would buy me like a pass for the day for the park, and it was fun. I mean, it wasn't huge, but it was theme park and a water park, and I think they had mini golf too. It was in the back of the casino, so it was just kind of like tucked away there. I don't know what the land is now. It's long since gone, but I liked it. Wow, these greens are really different, aren't they?
Beach Cooper says, Ka's definitely for me if it's running. I want to guess that Ka and O will probably return if the shows do return, just because their theaters are so gigantic and there was so much money spent, and to undo them for something else is gonna cost a lot of money. So I think it would just be in there because the theaters are specifically built for them. There's no other thing that can run there because their stages do specific things.
Every time I've gone to O, I mean, O's been there for what, almost 30 years now, right?
It's been for a long time.
Every time I go, it's always sold out. So I can't imagine them not bringing something like that back.
Yeah, I can't either.
But who knows? Wait. So Dead Boy is a fan of some of the tunes, just not really of them, if I'm honest. I prefer Beach Boys over Beatles. I do too. I grew up really liking the Beach Boys a lot, and Beatles was just kind of like there, and I appreciate it. I like them much more now. Specific songs like Eleanor Rigby. Yeah. that Terrence mentioned. That's one of my favorites. There's another one that I really like too. I can't think of what it's called. I like some of the weirder songs that I guess you don't hear very often, and I think it's because they are so much more like weird and kooky. I don't know. And Reed Cooper's going to go hang out with a clown in the back room and do things at Circus Circus. It's not safe. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Yes, Corey Lynn, how did you know it was Norwegian Wood? That's weird. It was Norwegian Wood. I couldn't think of the name. Yeah, we sang like a little snippet of it, and I was like, God, this song's fucked up, but good somehow.
Did you get to see Phantom when it was out there?
No, I really wanted to. I love Phantom. It was the first show that I ever saw, like as a kid. And I didn't get to. It was at the Venetian, right?
The Venetian.
It
was ridiculous. It was amazing.
Yeah, I really wanted to see that. Because they had like built the theater for it too, right?
And like the chandelier was enormous. It was gigantic,
so
and
cool.
it did ridiculous things. Like again,
it wasn't just inflatable that would collapse on itself.
It was gigantic, and it was in 3 pieces floating when you walked in. And when when the music starts, it literally, I mean, and it's big. Like it's 3 or 4 pieces, and the biggest piece must have been like 30 feet across. And they all just spun in the air above the audience, and then they formed this giant chandelier. It didn't crash on stage, but it disappeared. When it was supposed to, it did this thing where like you watched it shake, and then it dropped towards the audience, down.
Yeah.
The lights would go out, and they would come back out, and the chandelier was gone. Just gone.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was. I wish they had a video. I wish they released a video of it, because there's no way to describe it. It was great.
There's so much theater that I wish that they would release on video, and I don't know why they don't. I mean, I do know why, because they don't make much money off it, I suppose. But for the people who can't, the people who don't live in New York are never going to see your show anyway. Like, why wouldn't you? Dead Boy says, Reed, the ball gag is not a special balloon animal, no matter what they tell you. That's so funny. Reed plans to go to every single hotel and casino and see as much as they'll let me see as someone not staying at the hotel. I used to do that as a kid. Okay, so back in the day, before they had like the cards and the credits and the printouts and stuff, they had buckets, right?
Yeah, I remember that.
And you could hear the coins actually falling from the slot machines all day. And I would go, I never had any coins because I was like 10, but I would go and walk by myself up and down the Vegas Strip. It's so crazy. And collect the buckets from each of the casinos. So like at the end of the trip, I had like 12 different buckets and they were all themed, and I thought it was so cool. Wait, what? Reed's going to spend $2,500 on the trip. Do it.
Yeah, tell us before you go, and then we'll tell you things to do.
Yeah. I'm sure there's lots of good stuff to do there still. It's been a while since I've been.
I realized that I was just talking to Amber. I was like, I didn't never thought like this is something in my mind, but like I was like, I miss Vegas. And then I realized that I've been to Vegas like at least once or twice a year for the last like 4 or 5 years.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah,
but not really knowing it.
Yeah, just not thinking about it. It became almost like a thing, like almost every year after we closed Playhouse and all that drama. I was like, we need to go on vacation. So like me, Danny, Amber, Ryan, a bunch of us just went to Vegas, and after that, it became like a yearly thing that we did. And on top of that,
that's cool.
I had add my bachelor party, then a trip I took with Amber and her mom and her grandma there. And so it just kind of added up, and I was like, oh, I went there a bunch of times.
That's really funny. We actually don't vacation very often. We're going to change that. We've decided.
Yeah.
because Jared's hairstylist, he's a colorist.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's been doing it for 25 years or so. And all that time, he's been taught that if you don't work, you don't get paid, which, I mean, is true.
It's true, yeah.
But he's thought that whole time, like, I can never really take a vacation because I can't afford to not work. And so we've been together for almost 15 years and never really taken a vacation in all that time. And then the pandemic happened and he was forced to not work for like 6 months off and on, like blocks of time. And then we're okay. Like, we survived it. We're still here. We're like, why didn't we take time? Like, we could have easily said, this week we're going to go do something and we're not going to work and we're going to be totally fine. And we're just like taught otherwise that the work ethic isn't right.
And like, as an independent worker, like if you don't work for a company that provides vacation hours and all that stuff, it's hard to think about it, but I feel like everybody needs it to try.
And it's definitely doable, I think. Like, I'm sure it's harder for some people than others, but
it's still, I watch my parents. My parents don't make a lot of money. My parents, live in an apartment. They don't have a house. They live modestly and they're happy. And they managed to go on a vacation prior to COVID. Every year they go on a big vacation. My dad saves up. My dad's really good about saving money. Like, weirdly good. Like, when I was a kid and something horrible would happen, it was like, oh my God, we need $2,000. My dad would be like, let me look in this box. Here you go. Here it is. Like, what are you? Anyways, and so my dad manages to every year to go on like this really nice vacation, and it's doable. You just have to try hard and plan, and sacrifice some things.
Yeah, we're gonna do something. Jared's never been to Hawaii, so I'd like to do that.
Me neither. That sounds fun.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I love it. And I'm all into the tropical stuff too, so it'd be nice. All right, so I've got my greens up there. Now I'm going to start with my visor, and I'm going to do the gray first, using just a gray paint. If you don't have gray, you can use black and white. Start with the white, add a little bit of black in there. And my darkest gray is going to go on this outside oval.
One of the things that Amber and I, from the beginning, since we started dating, I've always traveled and tried to travel as much as we can.
It's so good. I wish that we had done that. It's like one thing that I kind of not regret, but I look back on like the last 15, 20 years of my life, and I'm just like, shoot, I could have like done things.
But hey, guess what? You're not 80 years old. You still have a lot of time.
That's right. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to go crazy trying to make up for it, but I recognize that, yeah, I can still go do stuff.
Yeah.
Still got time.
See,
and if I'm not doing stuff immediately, I'm going to save up and I'm going to go do stuff.
Yeah, even if you have to save up for a year or two, but you still do it.
Yeah.
One of the big perks about Amber still working at Disney is we get discounts to the Disney cruises. And those are sweet.
Yes.
It sounds, especially somebody who hated working at Disney or parts of it hating working at Disney, like, why would I want to go to Disney cruise? They're really good.
I get what you're saying. It's very love-hate.
Yeah.
It's difficult to want to patronize a company that doesn't care much for its employees. But yeah, those cruises are amazing.
They're amazing. They're really good.
I did one in my 20s and it was just, it was really, really good.
I didn't realize it until we went on the first one. I was like, oh my God, it's so good.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. I wouldn't mind doing that again. Those are good cruises. They've got a new ship coming out too that I think they're announcing tomorrow.
Yeah. Next year I think it comes out.
Yeah. Wish, I think it's called. So now I'm going to do my center gray. And I'm going to do this with just a mix of the gray and white. This is going to be like a mid-tone gray. So I'm going to start with my gray on there first. And then grab some white paint and kind of neutralize that a little bit. I'd like to go to Disney World again too. It's been a while. Mm-hmm. Jared and I went for our honeymoon about, gosh, how long ago was that? Like 6 or 7 years ago. And that's always fun.
2019, I think, is the last year, like in the spring that I went. Oh, I went during Love Bug season for the first time. Yeah, to Orlando.
Love bug.
It's awful.
Like the actual love bugs?
Yes, there's things called love bugs. It's like these insects, and I guess twice a year for like a couple of weeks, it's mating season, and they're everywhere, like everywhere.
Oh.
And then because they're mating, they get stuck butt to butt, so they fly around together, like stuck to each other. And I remember like seeing the buses, like the buses taking from the airport to Disney World. Just the fronts of them just covered in them because they were just driving through it. Oh my God, it was awful. Don't go during love bug season. Look it up when it is.
Yeah, I've never even heard of a season. I remember them as a kid.
Yeah,
apparently had them in.
It's twice a year.
That's so funny.
I hate it.
I can just see you stomping around on them all day. Stupid bugs.
It's just on you, and they're everywhere, and it's just unhappy.
Yeah, I don't like that. That doesn't sound nice. It's already difficult enough to enjoy Florida weather sometimes.
Oh yeah.
Like if it's too hot, it is hot, and if it's humid, it's humid. Like there's no in between. Here we go. There's my medium gray for the visor. And then I've got the white part in the center. I'm going to wash off my brush first. Wash off my brush. That's nice and clean.
Deadboy says, Mom and Dad and I are planning to doing something after we get healthy again. Even if we go somewhere small for a little while, it's just the idea of escape after we've gone through. Yeah, anything.
That's all I want to. Just even if it's like a quick little trip to San Diego, I'm okay with that. My mom's been to New York like twice since the pandemic. I don't know what she's doing. Of course, she also had COVID for a little bit too, so she also probably doesn't care. But then like her friend went to Hawaii, and which is great. But I'm also like, that sounds nice.
Yeah.
What the fuck? They're friends of ours too. Like, you know how like your parents have friends who are also kind of your friends sometimes?
Yeah.
But yeah, I was like, I'd like to go to Hawaii, but I can't because I'm busy being responsible trying to care for the rest of the country. But go have fun. That's fine.
Yes.
Have a great time. Hope you step on a stingray.
Danny and Val just did something fun. They did one of those like
yes. What was that?
I forget what it's called, but it's like you pay for a vacation and it's a complete surprise. They just book it for you. And you just give them parameters. I think you give them a budget, and then you say whether you want to fly, train, or drive. They picked drive, so they didn't have to meet anybody. And they ended up going to like somewhere where it was like completely just the Airbnb by themselves and like a nice place, and it was
like isolated and cool.
Yeah,
I think it was so very them too.
Yeah, so that seems kind of fun. I might try that at some point.
Yeah, I gotta find that out. That was really cool. It was like secret Airbnb.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Jared would never go for that. He'd be like, no, I can't have someone else controlling my vacation for me. That's not gonna work. But I would love that. I would totally be game. Be like, yeah, here's some money, send me somewhere. Because I imagine if they send you somewhere like really shitty and you end up not liking it, there's some sort of like, hey, you sent us to Circus in Vegas, we're not happy.
I think they've done it twice, and both times they said it was something nice. The company like researches and tries to give you nice. They give you recommendations to do. So I think they do try to make you happy.
Because they set up itineraries and stuff too, right?
Yeah, like a
That's
recommended
so cool.
thing.
Yeah, I would totally do that.
Necrofilm says, I'm going to a wedding in Oregon this August. That's about it.
You know, I've never been to Oregon. I have some family up in Ashland that I keep saying, yeah, I'll come visit. But really, I just want to go to the Funko store in
it's so cool,
right?
in Washington, Seattle. Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah,
I mean,
I want to go there.
The store here is really cool too. It's actually bigger.
That's right. There's one in Hollywood now, isn't there?
Yeah. It's actually At this point, I think it's kind of cooler than that one. But I went to that one before this one opened. I was like, oh my god, this is cool. And then this one opened. It's like, oh, this one's kind of better.
Well, because the one in Washington is more like headquarters style, right? Like it's just a big warehouse that they've...
No, it's a big store. It's similar, but it's just newer, so they have newer figures and they had more room and stuff. But the one in Seattle, it's like the ground floor of their like 4 or 5 story corporate building. It just looks like an old building in downtown Seattle, and then the bottom floor is the store.
Yeah, I know. I have to check it out. I haven't been to Hollywood in a while either. Dead Boy says, Mom had COVID at the very beginning. That's why her and Dad got the vaccines when it first came out. That's good.
That's good.
So we still do masks and the whole social distancing thing. Good. I'm glad to hear that. It's hard. I'm tired of it. I hate having to think about it all the time, but I feel like we're almost there.
Yeah, we're good.
Jared and I, we got our vaccines, our first one, a couple weeks ago. So.
Okay, we did too.
Yeah, we're thankful for that.
Yeah, because Ryan, Danny, and I are here at the studio often, but like together, and we're just tired of like having to wear masks and sitting as far away as we can from each other. It's like I just want to come and sit and like have a conversation with. I outside I don't have a hard time because I know there's a lot of people, but just like coming to a place where I see the same 2 people all the time. But like we're 4 weeks away from being fully vaccinated and be able to be with each other because we'll all be vaccinated at the same time. So we'll be able to know.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, I'm not sure what our timeline is, but yeah, that totally makes sense. I think even once we're fully vaccinated, we're still going to be wearing stuff around. Like if I'm going to the market, I'm still wearing a mask because I'm like, no, I'm not playing this game anymore. I'm tired of this. Get away from me.
We're doing the Target pickup thing. It's real nice.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we started doing that too. We were doing that with our groceries too. We were getting them delivered through Instacart, and then we're like, no, let's just buy directly from Ralph's and go pick it up.
Yeah.
It's been great.
It's nice, and it also keeps you from spending a crap ton of money at Target because it's really easy to just buy.
It totally does.
And they're just it's so quick. You just park. They're like you show them your app to the window. They take your code and they bring your stuff, open your trunk, and they toss it in. You're like done.
Yeah, we love it. We do that too. The nice thing about the pickup too for groceries, and again, I don't want to take any money away from the Instacart people because they do really good work, and I want to support those people who are trying to get money where they can.
Yeah.
But the surcharges for Instacart were just getting out of hand. I was paying like $20 for delivery for small deliveries. Like it'd be one thing if they were delivering like $400 worth of groceries, but it was sometimes like $20, $30 for delivery. And it's just like, I can't anymore after a year. So we started doing Ralph's and it's been great. All right, so now I'm working on my background, kind of cleaning up any of my lines around my little guy here. And then once everything dries, I'll go back on top with either black paint with my small brush, or if you've got a Sharpie handy, you can do that too, and sometimes get a really nice clean line. Dead Boy's second date is this Sunday. Yay! But I'm still going to wear a mask because anti-vaxxers and anti-maskers are everywhere. Yeah, they're going to be around for a while. I hope that it will be quicker than we expect. But when you see like with polio, I mean, granted this was a really long time ago, and science has like made leaps and bounds as far as technology and research and stuff. But that between vaccinations and like eradication of polio, it was a good 5 to 7 years. So I'm hoping that it's not going to take quite as long, but I'm prepared to still be walking around with a mask and washing my hands. And I mean, that's kind of washing your hands. We should have been doing that anyway.
The whole time.
Yeah, it's not new, people. Please wash your hands.
Is there like things that like you look at and you're like, how do we ever did that? Why things that you look at now and you're like, I don't understand why we did those things. Like I don't know if I'm ever gonna be able to go to a party and watch somebody blow their cake out, their candles on their cake. I'm like, that's so much spit everywhere. I used to eat those cakes.
It is kind of weird.
This is gonna be something that's gonna change. Yeah.
It is kind of weird. I was just talking to Jared about when I went to Adobe Max a couple years ago, and they had this whole like Candyland set up for their big closing party, and it took over like a whole space, and on each table was a different type of candy. It was kind of buffet style, but not really, because there weren't any protective glasses or anything. You just like walked around and picked up whatever candy you wanted. So it's like, I can't imagine they doing something like that ever again, where there's just open food that people are just grabbing.
Just taking out, yeah.
Yeah, it's weird to think about it now. But other than that, I mean, I was pretty much a kind of, not a clean freak or germaphobe, but I was pretty good about washing my hands and all that stuff anyway. I do remember as a kid, like, I remember going to Disneyland and seeing people wearing masks and just thinking, like, why are you wearing a mask? Like, what is that?
Yeah.
This was years ago, like, as a little kid. And now I'm just like, oh, I get it. Because you still want to go to the park, but you're not feeling well, so you'd like to protect other people from getting sick. What a great idea.
Reed H. Cooper says, I'll miss spitting in people's mouths at concerts. That was fun.
What? That's awful.
People said being under 45 in New York City makes it hard to get the vax. But you probably will be, hopefully in the next month or so, be able to get it.
Yeah, they should open up pretty quickly.
Yeah. California, I think April 15, everybody's eligible. And so hopefully sooner.
I was able to get it, thankfully, with my work through Taco Bell. And I think, I don't know, our friend Kalinda was able to help us with just the appointment making, because that's probably the most difficult part here in California, is just trying to get the appointment made. Yeah. Because the websites are just so, I mean, I feel like I'm on the very first website ever from like 1998. And nothing works. It's slow as hell. I just can't. But she was able to help us out, thankfully. You just have to keep looking.
Yeah. Thankfully, in Long Beach, we have that massive vaccination center at the convention center. So every once in a while, they were just like, we have an hour's worth of openings. Show up. And the day that Ryan, Danny and I got vaccinated, like when I took my mom, it was a 2-hour like switch back with a car, because we did the in-car thing. It took like almost 2.5 hours. When I went with Ryan and Danny, it was like less than 10 minutes. We want to, like I said, was
so weird.
I feel like it might have been the day they set aside for like appointments, like if we were to come back. They had like a buffer day. So when that day came, they were like, okay, we're open for the rest of the day, no appointments. Let's just show up. And we were able to just show up and got it.
That's awesome. Reed grew up in New York gay clubs, so that explains that. Okay, that's fine then.
When you put it that way.
You know, the New York institution Spitmouth. This place all the cool kids went.
I have 25
We shared
masks.
everything.
Yeah, I have a lot of masks too. I have like 10 or 15 masks.
I only have 2. No, 3. I have 3.
3. I usually wear
one. But I
one.
don't go anywhere.
Yeah, it's because I come here to the studio. So like after like a day of wearing one, like I can smell my food from the day. I was like, oh, dirty. So I wash them often because I can't.
That's good.
Yeah, but if you're like, if you only go to like, oh, I'm gonna go like out to get the mail and brush, go around the block, and you only for 10-15 minutes, you can use it for a few days. But if you wear it all day, you have to change it every day.
No, that's all I do. I have a really cool one that my friend, a friend of mine made. His name's David. He makes masks that are really cool, really comfortable. And then my brother got me a Haunted Mansion one for Christmas that I love. And then my mom got me a Keith Haring one. So I alternate between the 3 of them. Like I keep one in the house, one in the car, and one extra. This little guy, he's looking super sus with his duo color. He's got some bright lighting coming from the right, which is why he's so super shaded down here.
Ryan left. I don't know where he went. He gave up.
he keeps venting and disappearing.
Yes, that's very sus right there. Just left.
Oh. There's a guy that's part of a podcast that would actually lick new rides at Disneyland. Ew, what?
No.
People are so dumb. I don't like people. I mean, I do, but there's a lot of things that people do that I don't like, and that's one of them. Like, no one told you growing up that it's really important to lick things. It's so stupid. That's a good point, Reed. Being able to share food with your friends at dinner. Like, what do you do if wow, that looks really good. Can I taste that? Or can I have some of your fries? Like, what happens to those moments? I haven't thought of it. I haven't been to a restaurant in probably a year and a half, almost 2 years, because I never really eat out either.
I guess, that's just one. It's like with anything, it's just a risk you take. And if everybody's vaccinated and you feel comfortable, this is a safe person who's just not licking rides at Disneyland. Just,
I guess it just depends.
Yeah, it depends. It's more like
I would trust Jared's food.
Yeah, it's more like group things, like the blowing candles on a cake. That's weird, to me. Well, not only that, but because now I know how much stuff just flies out of your mouth. I'm like aware. You always knew, but just now you're aware of it.
Yeah. Now we're aware of what it could mean. It's not just like ew, spit, gross. Now it's like ew, spit, death.
But also ew, spit.
Yeah.
I never thought of how much spit went on a cake when you blew candles out.
Reed has 25 masks. That's a lot. Wow. Necrofilms on Athena. Yeah, I think Athena's probably the best way to go. Mm-hmm. They're at least consistent with their timing. There's a lot of people on it, but they'll help you out. Going to raves, sharing some water from your Camelback. Yeah. I know Coachella's going to be very interesting this year. I'm interested to see how that happens. I've never been, but I know a lot of my friends go, and it'll be very different.
Like, how is the elevator at Haunted Mansion gonna feel? You're packed in there with like 50 other people.
Yeah.
Are they gonna just
people
fill it
have shown like their Disney World trips, like shown how those have changed, mm-hmm. but I still don't really get it. Like, I've seen roller coasters and they space people out in the cars and stuff mm-hmm. like that, but I can't imagine that doing very well at Disneyland. I don't think people are going to be responding to it very well.
I mean, but at the same time, they're going to limit the amount of people in the park, so it might not be that big a deal. you won't be waiting like an extra ton amount of time because there won't be that many people in the park.
Mm-hmm.
So if you wanted to ride Rise of the Resistance, you haven't been able to get a ticket, this will be the time to do it.
I know. I'm tempted. I haven't been yet.
I actually want to, because I think they might be doing cast member previews. I might go.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll be vaccinated by then. I want to see what the park will be like. Like, I'm really curious about seeing how it'll function and what that experience will be like.
It's got to be completely different. I mean, even the stuff like the videos that I've seen from Disney World, some of the videos look just the same as a slow day in Disney World.
Yeah.
Like, unless it's super crowded, Orlando's not too bad in general because
Yeah.
you can just kind of walk around. There's so much space that you walk a while before you run into someone.
Mm-hmm.
Disneyland, it felt like it was always crowded unless it was just opening or close to closing.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see how they do it too. It'll be a change. But Reed wants to know who is flying cows. I don't know. Who is flying cows?
More context? I don't know how to answer this.
Oh well. Anyway, ta-da! Yay! He's so cute.
Here's mine.
Oh, Art! That looks awesome.
Yeah,
He's super cute. I love what you did with the background too, with the like tonal red orange.
yeah, that was kind of fun.
It's nice.
I finished one.
Yay! You did. This was a fun one because we just got to color. I love it.
Yeah.
So still doing partner push, right?
Yes, partner push forever. Till they say yes. So we still
Forever until they give it to us.
We need you guys there on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday nights. We'd love it. We'd love for you guys to be there just to help us get that check mark, and we can have a lot of fun and just not worry about things. But yeah. So you guys come back tomorrow at 2:00 for Andrew here on YouTube, at 2 p.m. for Andrew Games, and then 7:30 for Solens on Twitch. Wednesday night for Solens. Nope. Wednesday night for Perception Check on Twitch as well. Yeah. And if you have anything else, Robert, before we go?
No, I don't. Just be good to each other and go get vaccinated and stay safe. And I'll see you guys next week.
Yeah. See you guys later. Bye.